Martxelo, bring us up to date with your case about the closure of Egunkaria, the torture of the directors, and the charges which were laid against the directors leading from the 2003 closure of Egunkaria. Bring us up to date.
Well, Egunkaria was the only paper in Basque language that was founded on 1990. So after quite years of publication, I'm going out every day to the bookshop. In 2003, the Spanish Special Court decided to close it down, and the court asked the Civil Guard, which is the strongest police group in Spain, like an anti-terrorist group, to close the paper, to arrest the members of the staff, and to keep them incommunicado for 5 days, under the application of a very strong rules. So we were at that time 150 workers, and we were the most important thing in the Basque culture in the last 20 years. After the creation of Basque TV radio and Basque TV and Basque radio, creating Egunkaria was something special, because it was the result of the job and the work of many people putting money, more than 1,500 shareholders giving us money to create the paper. And that was a big scandal, because no one was expecting that the Spanish Special Court was going to close it. But there were many scandals at the same time. They closed the paper, they sent 150 workers to the street, more employees, and then they accused us of being members of ETA. We spent 5 days incommunicado. We were 10 members of the staff, and 5 of us were tortured for 3 days, for 4 days, or for 5 days. That was something people couldn't believe, because when they say we close the paper because the paper has a link with ETA, because ETA is nominating the staffers, ETA is choosing the staffers, and ETA was at the beginning of the paper, at the beginning of the project, giving money to the staffers to open the paper, which is not true. At that time I was not in the paper, because I was at that time working at TV, but I was supporting the creation of the paper, and I know that that's not true. No one from ETA gave us a pen, no one from ETA, and no one from ETA chose any staffer, because when they offered me to be the director of the paper in 1993, the president of the company came to me. No one from ETA came to me. I never met anyone from ETA offering me to be a member of the, not me and not other staffers. No one offered me to be you wanna be the director of the Egunkaria under these conditions? No, they told me, you wanna be the director of our paper. We are looking for a young, new manager. I told them, that's good for me, that's an honor for me, so let's go. And they were accusing us of being member of ETA. And that was a scandal for the Basque people, because they know us. Because the president is a very famous writer. And the secretary of the boarding team is a Jesuit, he's a priest. He's a very famous radio speaker. And always working with poor people, with immigrants and people who came from the jail, and social, people, very famous. So most of us were quite famous, and people couldn't believe that how they could accuse us to be members of ETA, which is a scandal. But the second scandal was that after closing the paper, after accusing us to be members of ETA, is that we were tortured. In 2003, the members of the staff of the paper, the director and the president of the company, we were tortured. And that was the biggest scandal in torture in our country. Because people know that they torture, but they know that torture members of ETA or people accused of being members of ETA. But they couldn't imagine that in 2003 they could torture the staffers of a paper, writers, directors, members of the boarding team. That was a scandal. And now we're waiting for the trial. After that was February 2003, so it's going to take 6 years close. And we're waiting for the trial. there is no date, no timetable for the trial, so we still